In 1987, in a forgotten corner of Aberdeen, Washington, Kurt Cobain and Chris Novoselic started a new band. An idea long gestating had finally begun to make noise. Their first band name was Skid Row. After several changes, they finally arrived at the name that would define them: Nirvana. Their early recordings were drenched in noise, rough, unpolished, raw. But within that chaos, Kurt's scream was unmistakable. Anger, anxiety, and fractured love. He poured all of it into his guitar and voice. There was no commercial calculation, only the sound of someone carving their soul into music. This became the foundation of what would later be called grunge. In 1989, they released their debut album Bleach under the indie label Sub Pop. It was made on a shoestring budget, just $600. The recording sessions were done late at night with minimal equipment, but the album contained everything Nirvana stood for. To Kurt, it was a declaration of existence. Blue was the opening track, an unfiltered expression of Nirvana's essence. Heavy bass collided with distorted guitar, and Kurt's voice cut through it all. Power and emptiness, hope and despair, all compressed into one volatile song. At the time, Nirvana had no clear vision of their future, but Kurt was certain. Even if this sound didn't align with the times, someone, somewhere would feel it. Even if no one else understood, he needed this sound. That was enough. Blue spoke in sound, not words. The bass growled, the vocals restrained, until suddenly they erupted into a scream. The lyrics were abstract, but behind them was a battle, a struggle with something inescapable within himself. He was both trapped by and trying to destroy it. Seattle's music scene at the time hadn't yet entered the mainstream. Bands like Melvins, Soundgarden, and Mudhoney surrounded the sub-pop scene, sharp-edged, gritty. But Nirvana was different. In Kurt's voice, there wasn't just rage, there was poetry. Kurt didn't wield words like weapons. He used them as walls. He feared vulnerability, hiding behind metaphors. Yet somehow, his lyrics still pierced hearts. They weren't complicated, but they sank deep. During recording, Kurt wanted everything fast, rough, and emotionally detached. But it wasn't cold calculation. It was a kind of self-defense, a way to avoid emotional collapse. He sang in order not to break. Bleach never became a major hit, but from underground, its sound began to shake something loose. To Kurt, it was the first time he had shouted into the world. And now, he began wondering, what would he destroy next? What would he create? In the indie years, Kurt wasn't a rock star yet. Crowds were small, equipment failed, sleep was rare. But his eyes were focused. He believed in his music with unshakable conviction, digging out his shape within an imperfect world. Even then, Kurt lived with pain and creation as two sides of the same coin. He wanted to be loved, to be understood, but at the same time, he wanted no one near him. Making music from that contradiction was the only way he could survive. He didn't scream, he held it in, and that became the Cobain style. Each track on Bleach was a shard of Kurt's inner self. His songs thrashed with destruction, despair, and fleeting hope, and he threw them into the world not for fame, but simply hoping someone might catch them. It wasn't about genre, it was a pure cry. Without this album, Nirvana would never have existed. Their success, their legend, it all began with these raw sounds. Kurt Cobain was still just a young man, but within Bleach, he was already becoming Kurt Cobain. The origin no one saw, that sound from the underground would soon give birth to a movement called grunge. In the next episode, we'll look into Negative Creep, a song where Nirvana's rawest aggression erupted, and explore the other self hiding within Kurt Cobain. Kurt Cobain's presence still lives on in the hearts of countless fans around the world. If this video has brought you closer to his life or his music, please consider liking and sharing it so that his voice can reach someone else too. Even a small action like that can help carry his spirit into the future.